Don't know on the Real Things podcast. Hey yo!
All right, my people. All right, my people. Blessings and welcome to the Real Things podcast. Big up on yourself. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. If you're returning, welcome back. So today we have on the show with us Trenchtown Grandpa. Blessings and welcome to you, sir.
Happy to have you me here, invite me here, Joy.
All right, all right. Well, right now you have to go talk a little louder for the people them because we're doing it the unconventional way today. We're not use no microphone, we use speakers and all kind of something. So you have to go talk a little louder. All right. So welcome on board, Trenchtown Grandpa. I've seen you and Jamaican Uncle doing a lot of things on the streets of YouTube. A lot of good things. You guys are even teaching us, the younger folks, how to enjoy life. And I want to say that things, the way how you guys are doing things, it should be an eye opener for a lot of other people who are not happy with themselves. I'm not telling a lie. I'm not telling any lie. A lot of people who are not happy with themselves. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, we've seen some things happen since sometimes last year, which I'm not gonna bring up back. You know what it is, and you've made some waves on the YouTube street in Kenya. All right, now you've been trending on some people's channels, some reactors channels, and I've seen to the point where some of them basically are trolls. For the past few weeks, especially, um, that package that you brought to Kenya last year, I want to just delve into it directly because we've been at it for some time now. That package that you brought to Kenya last year, we've seen where Marwa has, he's gone back home and he decided finally to distribute the package. But some people, they're not resting easy. Some people are not resting easy. So while you were out enjoying yourself and teaching the young people them how to live life and enjoy it, other people were just having problems. They were taking issue with you. No, let me just ask you this straight off the bat. When you sent those packages, when you brought those packages to Kenya, what were your intentions, Mr. Trenchtown Grandpa? What were your intentions with those packages? Straight off the bat.
Well, first you say I brought the package. It wasn't the package. It was several boxes,
Right, right.
and it was myriad of stuff that I brought,
Mm,
and they were all great. 80% of them were brand new stuff. Some a great percentage of that new stuff had the tag still on it. Some were never been worn or anything.
right, right.
So it's only about maybe 20% of them was really used, and of the 20, the used stuff, maybe about 30% of the 40% of the shoes were used, and the other 60% were brand new, never been worn either. So, so for some folks to be saying things, like put your money where your mouth is, do something like that for me and let me see. Give something that costs almost $2,000 to ship, and then buy a plane ticket that costs $1,500 and travel there, and then pay hotel fares and do that and let me see. And if you can do that, then by you doing that, you can criticize.
E-
Prior to that, or if you
Exactly.
can't do that, just don't transpose your mouth with your rear. Don't put your mouth where your rear is. Don't transpose that.
Ex
Okay, all
ex
right.
exactly.
And I'm saying that with no fear,
Ex
whatsoever.
exactly. I agree with you.
The second point is some of those persons who are talking negative things about those clothes and stuff that I bring, they should be ashamed of themselves. Why should they be ashamed of themselves?
Mm,
They should be ashamed of themselves because Just because they would never be allowed to get anything from it as per instructed, never they cause other persons who are in need of it not to get it because of loyalty to them, number one,
Right, right,
or because they find themselves in a precarious position where they were to the some of the stuff.
right.
The first in particular called me and said she was so disappointed that she wasn't able to get anything and she needed the stuff.
Wow.
I won't call that person's name, but that person, she's listening to what I'm talking about.
Right, right.
So I listened to the and you asked me what was my intention. My intention originally,
Mm,
Marwa and his wife Rosie would have been there,
right.
and a couple of the persons who had identified in good good terms with Marwa at the time of we began this thing. We would have set up tables and laid them out, and persons would have come in and gotten whatever they could have gotten were allowed to get.
All right.
If I had to do it, I wouldn't have done it on like putting it on the floor because that's not my style.
Right,
It won't do like that.
right,
But
right.
those things that were brought were ready to be worn. Every single thing was ready to be worn.
Stick.
If we didn't have the means to laundry it, or
Right.
to dry clean it.
Stick a pin right there. Remember what you're gonna say.
Yes, ma'am.
No, when it relates to when as they talk about clean and laundry these clothes to wash these clothes, I saw a reaction a few days ago by a synonymous reactor on the YouTube streets. Now she was saying that um people from Africa are being warned about taking items from the US coming into Africa because they're bringing an infestation of bed bugs. Now, I personally remember that I watched your content when you stated that, these clothes, how you personally wash and pack them. But this a reactor was on her channel saying how much Zambia's president was saying that the people shouldn't take items from the West because they're dealing with a massive outbreak of bed bug, an infestation of bed bugs. Now, to me, honestly speaking, as a Jamaican, and saw another Jamaican, especially at your age, uncle, took it upon himself. Now, I will tell you this and don't feel no way. Took it upon himself to clean these items, wash them, because it's a lot. It's a lot. But even that,
A garment is a minimum of 6 hours.
you see what I'm talking about? And look how many pieces there were. So many pieces. So I sat back and I was listening to this woman. I may say blouse and skirt. People will just literally take the time out to just yap and destroy other people. Them don't under when we say destroy, literally by just your words. That comes just the words that come from one's mouth. You don't understand that it's hurt how much it can hurt others. You understand?
Okay, my train of thought. You said a lot. Mark where you are, and then we can
Mm,
like catch up.
mm,
Okay. To the point where bed bugs infestation individual is talking about.
mm-hmm.
I guarantee there's more bed bugs in our here and in our place than there is in the whole entire America.
Mm-mm.
I can if she's willing to take me up on this, I'm willing to do the same thing with her.
Right, right,
I can get a reputable company
right,
to take my house, even
right,
flies. If she is willing to do the same,
right.
we will publish the results on a reasonable channel, and a channel that is the person who's totally objective.
Right.
Now, I, of my age, I'm telling you, I could swear on the life of all my kids. You can believe it if you want.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't believe it, it doesn't matter to me.
Right, right.
I never in my life seen a picture of you want, you don't believe it, that's fine.
I know what you're saying. I get you. Yeah, yeah.
In all my travels, I have been to 14 countries in Africa. I've been to 35 countries in the world and about 70 cities.
Right, right.
And most of them, not most of them, some of them have been there more than once.
Right.
I carry my Lysol and I spray the beds and the stairs, etc.
Mm.
Where you way before COVID.
All right. Right, right.
I'm from a family that has a lot of healthcare professionals in the family, including my daughter, my wife, etc., 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 etc. Okay, all right. So to answer that about the bed bugs, there are no bed bugs there.
Right.
No. It bleeds my heart to know that so much money was spent in shipping those stuff to the thing. It was $1,800 just to ship it.
Mm-hmm.
If you convert that to shillings, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got there, I had to pay an extra $100 to transport it.
Hmm.
And they wouldn't come any further than Migori with it.
Right, right.
Pay another 9,000 shillings to ship it in that little open back van
Mm-hmm.
to transport it from Migori
Mm-hmm.
to Demohansi.
Right.
No, that does not include the dry cleaning bills, which is maybe about $150 to $200. Dry cleaning.
Mm.
It did not also include the laundering that I did at my house. And they were not even because they needed to do, but because I wanted to make sure that I'm not giving anybody any stuff that I don't think it's sanitary enough to give them.
I remember you saying that. And
I showed Marwa.
Right.
I called Marwa and I showed him in my washing machine because I have a super large washing machine.
Right, right.
And I showed him in the house. And he was so excited to see the washer and dryer, two big washer and dryer.
Right.
Where my wife and I spent 2 days washing some of the stuff that we got.
Right, right.
And drying them in the dryer and folding them neatly to put them in the suitcases.
Hmm.
All right?
Yes.
No. For someone to sit back and spend their time talking about that, they're just demagogues.
I have a clip here. I have a clip.
And yeah, they're just demagogues, and I don't watch them.
I have a clip here that I want to play for you.
Go ahead and play.
Yes,
Go
I
ahead,
have a clip I want to play for you, and I want you to tell me your thoughts on this, what she's saying.
Being that one shoe, bring that one shoe. I'll be right here waiting for your moves. That is JT from JT. Hey, and I'm like, hey, let me. Leo is home. Yes, Leo is home. Let's also be speaking in JT's voice because we will always be here waiting for these moves. The Three Musketeers just planning to land in Kenya, and we have a new guy also joining in. But we are not going to talk about the new guy because we haven't known him. We haven't heard from him that much. We haven't. He's not really very well introduced to us. But once he will be introduced to us, because I can see him holding cameras here.
All right, let me just put a pause on that. I want to say something to my new viewers. Now, you hear AM Carol is the reactor that we're talking about, that the reactor in question, and you've heard what Trenchon Grandpa was saying, right? No, she's here talking about 1 foot of shoes. In the package or the packages that was sent, there was a shoe that only one the other one was missing. And there was this little boy. This was when all of this was happening, when Marwa was, handing out the clothes or giving them over to people. Now, this little boy fell in love with the shoe because he couldn't find anything else to fit him. And it was just one shoe. Marwa happened to announce on his channel that Trenchtown Grandpa and his wife, you know, made it known that they were sending the other foot. It's found, and they were sending the other foot to Kenya for that little boy, that little baby boy who was so obsessed with that shoes. And here she is, passing judgment or using somebody else's word. That was another reactor, JT, whatever he was laughing about. That you Trenchtown Grandpa should come here with your 1 foot of shoes because they're waiting. They are waiting on you. No, like seriously, what are your thoughts on their sentiments?
Okay. Joy, I went on. When I found out about the shoe, I called Marwa and I told him that we have located the other foot of the shoe because it was just. And when you're packing all those stuff, things get misplaced, and you overlook certain things because even when um, Jamaican uncle and Wrigley was at my house,
Right.
they helped me to put bags of stuff inside a shed that I have on the outside, and that shed is fly free, roach free, and bug free, and every kind of free. And I know that shed is better than some of the places that some people over there might store their stuff.
Right.
I don't want to, but I'll just
I
say their
understand.
stuff.
I understand. Yes.
Okay. So then, I told Marwa, and Marwa was so excited, and I said, "Don't find that little boy and tell him that I'll be sending the other foot of that shoe because we just found it."
Right.
Now that shoe is an original Nike shoe. Costs a lot of money. It doesn't cost. It's not a knockoff Nike, okay? Because it came from my grandson, right?
Right.
And I'm telling you, these kids are today, they're highly professional. They're not scraping for money. And when they buy things for their children, it's always the best or the most trendy things.
Right.
Okay. So eventually you'll get the other pair of Nike sneakers. When I came, I brought Nike sneakers for 3 other young boys. Their mother did. I don't think their mother threw those sneakers away because I saw pictures of them in that sneakers recently.
Right.
Those sneakers are some Nike sneakers too. I wish they would burn those if they can.
Oh, you're talking about our friend that swore to burn the clothes.
Yes, I mean, I wish they would just burn everything, the bicycle, everything that they got, and I wish they would return all the money.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Right.
The other things, I'm not going to argue with anybody over there because there's a place that you gab about another person on.
Mm.
There's a place that you fight. There's a thing that is called a fighting ring that you fight people in.
Right.
And there's a place that you go for justice and you argue in.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't transpose any of those places.
Mm.
You understand? Just like you would not play basketball in a church. You don't expect to play basketball in a church or soccer in a church,
Right.
a sanctuary. You don't do that.
I want you to listen in a little bit more.
You go for grace.
Yes.
You go for grace, love,
Right.
and forgiveness
Right.
in a sanctuary.
Let's listen in a little bit more. I'm just cut for time. Let me just listen. Let's just listen in a little bit more to what she has to say, and then we can wrap up. I'm pressed for time.
Yeah.
Right.
We will know how to go about him. We'll know how to handle him as well. On these streets, it's all about what you give out. What you give out is what you get. You understand? positivity, negativity to negativity as we move. So let's wait for him. But so far, they are out here ranting a lot. They're talking too much.
Hold on. Before we go to the part where she's saying that you're talking too much, there was this part that she said that you guys were coming to Kenya. No, boy, you guys are touring the world. What, you guys are on a world tour or something like that? Hey.
Joy, I'm going to tell you this. When fools are talking,
Right.
only fools are listening.
All right.
Okay? So let me tell you something. I can go to any country in the world at any time, even on a day's notice.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So, whenever I'm required to come to Kenya,
Mm-hmm.
I will. And whenever I decide to come to Kenya, I will.
All right.
You know, those who are talking, they might hope that I don't come to Kenya, because let me tell you something. I'm going to use every sinews in my body to make sure that I bring to bear justice. And when you break the law, when somebody breaks the law, you should pay a price.
The Bible said that. Even the Bible said that.
Okay? And I myself and other attorneys, both in Kenya and the US, have gone to every fine line of every aspect of my being in Kenya, and did not come up with not even one iota of misdemeanor.
Okay.
Where I broke the law.
Okay.
So, if somebody breaks the law,
Mm-hmm.
they should be the burden of the law should come down on them, and they should answer to it.
All right.
That's
So.
all I got to say.
All right.
No one, absolutely no one. I'm gonna say that another time. Absolutely no one can deter me or stop me if they want to use that language.
Right.
Intimidate me, prevent me from coming to Kenya, other than the Kenyan government.
Because there was this part that I was about to play where she was saying that they will deal with you. They will deal with you. That sounds like a threat. That sounds like a threat to me.
That's fine with me. That's fine. I don't have a problem. Years ago, I was in Jamaica, and these two guys approached each other, and they told them had a gun. And when one pulled his gun and fought, no, they did no. One had a gun and one had a machete. And when the one who pulled his gun, his name was Amlak. When he pulled his gun and aimed it at the guy pulled the machete, chopped his hand off.
Wow.
I was about 14 years old then when I saw that. Okay?
Wow.
So what happened? What happened if when they approach me, they miss?
All right. Let me just listen into a little bit more of what she said, and then we could close.
Now, this is the problem. When you come on the streets and you start yapping too much, and especially when the yapping is coming from a man, it becomes very dangerous. Not dangerous to us, but dangerous to you yourself who is yapping, and also to the environment around you. The moment you open your mouth and start ranting, yapping anyhowly, knowing that reactors are always here, picking each and every sentence of the things you're talking about and reacting, it becomes very dangerous on you. You'll start again writing all the letters, sending people to courts. For what exactly? Who told you people going to court will die?
All right, so we'll leave her right there. What do you have to say about that?
It's okay, it's fine. When fools are talking, fools are listening. That's all. You don't have to go to court if they get a letter. As a matter of fact, if they get a letter, tear it up. If they get a summons to come to court, tear it up.
So for those of you who are probably wondering what we're talking about, so these group of reactors, dubbed the negative reactors, or the lazy gang, that name was actually given to them by Aya Marwa because Marwa was saying that they're lazy, but dubbed the lazy gang, they basically begun, I say, trolling or reacting on Trenchtown Grandpa last year, and it resulted in him having to issue cease and desist, which they basically laughed in his face and came back to their channels, made numerous threats, just like how you would hear her sitting down and threatening. Um, they will deal with you, and Africa does not belong to you, and a bunch of other stuff, a lot of other stuff, and it resulted in them not even adhering to whatever the cease and desist letters that she's talking about. And that is why she's here again bragging. Let them bring the letters. Let them come with the letters. As you say, as you say, when fools are talking, fools listening. But sometimes you may not be a fool, but you have to listen to know how to deal with it, with the situation. You understand? You may want to go back and get your receipts to deal with it. So you'd have to pause and listen to them because they're basically right there. I don't want to say the word, but I'll have to say hanging themselves.
Yeah, well, it's good. She's first mentioned that we're talking and men, when men start yapping something like that,
Mm-hmm.
men should be yapping.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the things I applaud her for is that she realized that I'm a man. I applaud her for that because some of those people are not men.
Mm-mm.
Some of those people they're not men. So I applaud her for confirming that I'm a man. I'm grateful for that. And you see, the thing about it is, Joy, I believe a lot of the problems that exist is because I believe there are persons there. I don't know who is as an individual. I just my personal belief who wanted to date Marwa.
Allegedly.
And well, I don't know if it's allegedly or what. That's my
Right.
personal opinion. I
Right.
just think I'm just thinking. I've
Right.
never heard it before. I'm just my thoughts.
Right.
Wanted to date Marwa, and because Marwa didn't think they're good enough to even be a stepping stone or a one night stand, they turn around and they decided to ponder his character.
And anybody else.
Know that Marwa, and worse, know that Marwa have a beautiful symbol of a princess, and he's happy in his surroundings.
Right.
Getting the person of his dream. They are mad. They are mad. I mean, this is what I believe. I don't know of any personal individual, but you understand?
Right.
And all they do is they spend every minute, every moment of their time trying to get back at him. And if Mao was to say, okay, come on, let's go out on a date, they would drop everything. They would grow their hair. You understand?
Right.
And get in shape and run to him is every beck and call to be by his side. But I would do everything in my power to ensure that could never happen. Right?
Right.
So it doesn't matter what they might say about me. Let them go ahead. I'm living the best time of my life. Best time.
Amen.
I went to Jamaica with two special persons, Wrigley never seen,
Right.
and Jamaican uncle.
Amen.
And the wealth that what that we discovered that all three of us acquired in Jamaica over the years, and what they're privileged to.
Right.
I wish if they I wish if they could have known about that. But then again, some of these people who are negative reactors, they're very wealthy. They are very wealthy. They said it, and it's on tape. So my thing is, if they break the law, they can't say they can't pay for what they did because they have announced how wealthy they are and how connected they are, how many lawyers and so they have that they can bribe.
Right.
Because
Right.
if you slap a judge in his face in court, and you have somebody who could erase those charges, then you're telling me that there's corruption in the system, and they have connection to corruption. So, so when they're saying that we're talking a lot, they have spoken. And it's a video thing.
Give me a quick second. Let me just. I'll take a break and I'll come right back.
Yeah.
Being that one shoe, bring that one shoe.
All right.
Not
So I'm back.
dangerous
I'm back.
to us, but
I'm back, but yeah, my lady was
No,
still sitting on the screen.
no,
Sorry
no,
about
no,
that. Right.
no, no, listen. Um, you have if they say
Mm-hmm.
that the things that I sent there that I sent to Kenya,
Right.
um, they weren't in need of it, and they're full of bed bugs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I passed three stores or three places in Nemahansi
Mm-hmm.
that sells used clothing,
Right. Right.
and I was appalled to see how the people are stepping on the clothes. They don't know where they came from. You understand?
Right.
They're dirty and dingy looking, and people are buying it.
Hmm.
And I said to myself, I would never want my things that I'm sending to look anything like
Like that.
those.
Okay.
And you're saying that you have the nerve to say that those people did not want those stuff. Did you see the lines that was at Marwa coming for those stuff?
I don't
What
really
did they
think.
come for it
Yeah.
for?
Yeah. I don't. That I even said that same thing in a reaction that I did previously. Like
But,
nobody.
what one of the things that Marwa did that
Mm.
I wouldn't do, anybody who came to my house who was for stuff who was under 15 should be accompanied by their parent or
Oh.
guardian.
Okay.
And the next time I talk to Marwa, I'm going to share that with him, just in case something like this happens again.
Right. Right.
Because if your parent or your guardian bring you,
Mm-hmm.
then you can't lie and say that you didn't know where your children were.
Okay. And you're basing this off of?
I don't want to base it off of any. I'm just saying in general.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
You understand? Because what happened is these people, they just have a vendetta,
It's quite evident.
and they're just out. They're trying to make a living off of YouTube. But little did they know that Jamaican uncle don't need a dime from YouTube.
Right.
Wrigley don't need a dime from YouTube. And
Right.
Joy, you know that I didn't even know that I had money in my YouTube until you,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
You know, so we could get kicked off by YouTube by tomorrow. It's no problem.
Right.
We're still gonna travel. We're still gonna eat like we eat, and we're still gonna wear what we wear. You understand?
Right.
And of all the countries I've been to in Africa, the behaviors of the worst behaving group I've ever met, the worst, is in Kenya.
Okay, but further on in the same clip.
Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
They have no respect. They have no respect for the elder. I was in Senegal the other day,
Right, right.
and every time I pass somebody, I pass somebody or I see somebody pass an elder, they bow and they say, elder, or they say it in their words. They have the respect. I hope that some of these people live to be half the age that we guys are. Just half.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So I was saying that there is somewhere in let me give me a second. Let me just grab something. Oopsie. There is somewhere in a clip, in the same clip, that she was saying that basically she wants to know if you actually went to the Congo.
I've never been to the Congo.
Okay. Okay.
I can tell you the African countries that I've been to if you want. I've never been to Congo.
All right. Yeah.
And it wasn't for any specific reason. I just like all these
Has a
years,
name?
I've never been to Kenya. And I had the opportunity to come to Kenya in 82,
Right. Here.
79, 80, 81. In there about 81, 82.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Karaoke, I forgot his first name,
Mm-hmm.
was the tourism minister attached to the UN in New York, because we hung together, and and he went back when he went back to Kenya, to Nairobi. I think he died in a car accident or something like that. But like a friend of mine, she worked for him, and then she went off to Africa travel,
Mm-hmm.
and she was instrumental in building up or promoting Kenya to the US and the Western Hemisphere. So I had an opportunity to come, and I didn't come. I choose to go to other African countries then, but
Ah. Okay.
Kenya, I came to Kenya late. It's among the last countries that I've been visited.
Okay.
And I've gone from North Africa, which is Libya.
Mm-hmm.
Several countries: Libya, Sudan, Ethiopia, Nigeria.
Right.
Then now West Africa, which is Ghana, Abidjan, Togo, Senegal, Benin, Burkina Faso.
All right.
Kenya, Tanzania, and Zanzibar. And I know I'm missing some. Port Egypt. So, I'm not kind of new to Africa, but the behavior of a few is very.
I understand. And we've seen it played out on numerous occasions where people, just get fed up and decide to just stay away and not wanting to even contribute in a way. You understand? And thank God.
It's all jealousy. It's all jealousy, and it's jealousy because if you extract jealousy from the equation,
Right.
everything would be so harmonious, and everybody would be so joyful.
Amen.
Once you interject jealousy,
Right, right.
everybody wants to have 50,000 subscribers, and everybody wants this, and everybody wants, and that's the problem.
Trying to this. Okay. I was just kind of lost a little bit. No, I want to quickly wrap up because we've gone past the time. But honestly, let me just just say this before you give your few last words before we go out. You guys just keep doing what you're doing. Um, if you're contributing, keep contributing. Don't be disheartened because honestly, those people who them say empty barrels is what make the most nice, don't it? In a real life, empty barrels make the most noise. So you know, I've seen many people after Marwa, was giving out the clothing and the items. Them, many people were saying, that's a good look. It's a good look. Um, and I myself, me look at it and me say, which one of them, that sits there and talk would have, or any one of their supporters would have even taken the time out to do that much. Them say that you had other intentions. In the same clip, you have other intentions and all kind of thing. That enough for them business. Some people say them even going go guard some other people because them hear that you're coming back to Kenya and all kind of nonsense. But for me, empty barrels make the most noise in this case, and it is just a distraction designed to lure people away from what is really where the attention is really needed. It's just a distraction. Not the more than yeah.
Well, I don't know if this will comfort them, but they have no need to guard anybody. They have absolutely no need to guard anybody.
Urban.
So,
Urban.
so I mean, if that's their intention, that's hopeless. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
so there's no need to guard anyone. Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Which you know what kills me is how people embrace one person when they fall short,
Right.
and how
See the
they
address here. Bendals. Bendals. Yeah. Sorry about that. Me get a little distracted. Yeah. Yeah.
it behooves me to see how sometimes people can um beat up on a person when they fall short, and then celebrate a person when they fall short. You know.
All the time.
So I mean, for some things that some of the people do with, especially with their bodies, I am surprised that you could see in a comment where somebody said, "You are doing good, girl. Keep on doing what you're doing." How could you encourage somebody to keep on doing stuff like that? Nobody has seen my testimony yet.
Oh boy.
And
Save
you should
themselves
never.
to save the best for last, right?
One thing you should remember. One thing a person should remember is, if a person is accused of anything,
Mm-hmm.
never you hear one side of the story and form a conclusion.
Yes, that is the truth.
You would be an idiot. You'll be an idiot times 10. Okay? I'll give you a quick example. You said somebody is accused of driving past the speed limit.
Right.
And one person said, if somebody from law enforcement says, I clock him doing 100 kilometers an hour, and the car is equipped with a device that cannot make it go 100 kilometers per hour. So you say nothing. and he writes his case and he brags and he's published everything. Oh, this man was driving 100 kilometers per hour. And then when you go to court now and you present your side, it shows that it's certified that the car cannot go over 80 kilometers an hour.
Exactly. Anyway,
That is the reason.
yes.
That's the reason why you never listen to one side of the
The
story
story, yes.
and form a conclusion.
Yes, that is
Be
the
an idiot.
truth. That is the truth.
And every time a fool opens his mouth, he exposes his ignorance.
That is the truth.
So with that, I'm going to say, I'm glad that you have me on your show.
Thank you for coming.
I don't think I'll do this for anybody else. But you know that you're special.
Yay! Yay! Thank you.
And with that being special, nobody can harm you because as long as I'm here,
Amen.
you have reinforcement.
Amen.
Reinforcement in every way you can.
Amen.
Right?
Thank you for coming.
So you take care of yourself. Be
Blessings.
blessed.
Yes, sir.
And hold on to the mighty rails because, like it's said in my friend's book. You remember what it says in my friend's book? The topic.
No. Remind me, please.
The war is not over.
All right.
It's just begun.
All right. Hear you loud and clear.
Take care.
Yes, sir.
Take care. Be good.
All
And stay safe.
Amen. Blessings.
Thank you.
All right. All right, my people, that was Trenchtown Grandpa himself. Big up. It run longer than I wanted because I was expecting somebody a while ago, but they came in the middle of me recording. But that's all right. Listen, it was really a pleasure having Trenchtown Grandpa on. I don't know, I don't know where this will go, but as far as I'm concerned, there were so many questions too that I wanted to, so many other questions that I wanted to ask, but we would have to probably ask for another interview. I don't know. But in this time, I'll let it slide based on the time. I'm pressed for time. Anyway, guys, thank you for coming through. Please be sure to like the video before you go out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.